हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिचार्य अष्टोत्तर डिवाइन ग्रेस एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिचार्य अष्टोत्तर डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत गोस्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय। नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोधाम की जय। वृंदावन धाम की जय, मथुरा धाम की जय, मायापुर धाम की जय, जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय, गंगा मई जमुना मई की जय, तुलसी देवी भक्ति देवी की जय, Samavita Bhaktivinoda ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gaurang.
Jai, Jai, Jai. Thank you so much, Mahesh Pandit Prabhu. Hare Krishna. And welcome everyone for Srimad Bhagavatam class with His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami. It is Friday, September 20th in 2024 in New York, and we're starting tonight with Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 4th chapter, verse number 25.
Yes.
Happy to see everyone and glad especially Maharaj could join us. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Kendra Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 4, entitled Sati Quits Her Body. And tonight we are going forward from text 25. Krutva samana vanilo jitasana sodanamutpapya cha nam nabhichakratah shanairudi sapya diyorasi sthitam kaskandad Bhruvo Madhyam Anditaya Tanayat. First of all, she sat in the required sitting posture, and then she carried her life air upwards and placed it in the position of equilibrium near the navel. Then she raised her life air, mixed with intelligence, to the heart, and then gradually towards the pulmonary passage, and from there to between her eyebrows. Purport. The yogic process is to control the air passing within the body in different places called Shata Chakra, the 6 circles of air circulation. The air is raised from the abdomen to the navel, from the navel to the heart, from the heart to throat, from the throat to between the eyebrows, and from between the eyebrows to top of the cerebrium. That is the sum and substance of practicing yoga. Before practicing the real yoga system, one has to practice the sitting posture, because this helps in the breathing exercise which control the air going upward and downward. This is a great technique which one has to practice to attain the highest perfectional stage of yoga. But such practice is not meant for this age. No one in this age can attain the perfectional stage of such yoga. But people indulge in practicing sitting postures, which is more or less a gymnastic process. By such bodily gymnastic, one may develop good circulation and may therefore keep one's body fit. But if one simply restricts oneself to that gymnastic process, one cannot attain the highest perfectional stage. The yoga process described in the Keshava Stuti describe how one can control his living force according to his desire and transmigrate from one body to another or from one place to another. In other words, yoga practice is not meant to keep the body fit. Any transcendental process of spiritual realization automatically helps one to keep the body fit, for it is the spirit soul that keeps the body always fresh. As soon as the spirit soul is out of the body, the material body immediately begins to decompose. Any spiritual process keeps the body fit without separate endeavor. But if one takes it to that the ultimate aim is of yoga is to maintain the body, then he is mistaken. The real perfection of yoga is to elevation of the soul to the higher position or the liberation of the soul from material entanglement. Some yogis try to elevate the soul to higher planetary system where the standard of life is different from that of this planet and where the material comfort, lifespan, and other facilities for self-realization are greater. And some yogis endeavor to elevate the soul to the spiritual world, the spiritual Vaikuntha planets. The Bhakti Yoga process directly elevates the soul to the spiritual planet where life is eternally blissful and full of knowledge. Therefore, Bhakti Yoga is considered to be the greatest of all yoga systems. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuramitam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishitam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jutapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Tistam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanditam Sya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So in this verse, Prabhupada explains the yoga process. And he clearly states that this yoga process is not fit for this yuga, this Kali Yuga, which which is called Iron Age, age of quarrel and hypocrisy, where people are very slow and misfortune, always in trouble. So this is not recommended in this age. Only process recommended this age is Sankirtan Yagna, or chanting the holy name of the Lord. But still, people are practicing this yoga in order to get some business. It's a good business in big cities, yoga process, yoga studio. They get together and then they do some gymnastic thing and concentrate their mind on nothing. But actually, you have to concentrate your mind on Lord Vishnu, which is in everybody's heart and also in your heart. So you can concentrate that in your heart, Lord Vishnu. And easy process is just chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. And concentrate your mind on the words that you are speaking and also hear properly what you are saying. So that will have an effect on the soul, and because it's in a subtle form. And here you cannot keep your body fit if you don't take care of your soul. For it is spirit soul that keeps the body always fresh. And also, Bhakti Yoga process directly elevates the soul to the spiritual planet. and where life is eternally blissful and full of knowledge. Therefore, Bhakti Yoga is considered to be the greatest of all yoga system. So follow Bhakti Yoga in the footsteps of all the great devotees. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Maharaj.
I have nothing to add here. Well spoken.
Thank you, Maharaj. Okay, let's see. So, Ekandra Prabhu, keeping eye on the chat box. Okay, let's see what we have. Somebody wants to read next verse. Murari Gupta, you are available? Or let's see, who else?
I can read if you need someone.
Please, yes. Mukund Charan Das. Thank you, Prabhu.
Let me just...
Number 26.
Yes, okay. Evam sadeham mahatamahi samuho samaropitamankamadarat jihasati daksha shamanasvani dadara gatresh vanilani dharanam. Thus, in order to give up her body, which had been so respectfully and affectionately seated on the lap of Lord Shiva, who was worshipped by great sages and saints, Sati, due to anger towards her father, began to meditate on the fiery air within the body. Report. Lord Shiva is described herein as the best of all great souls. Although Sati's body was born of Daksha, Lord Shiva used to adore her by sitting her on his lap. This is considered a great token of respect. Thus, Sati's body was not ordinary, but still she decided to give it up because it was the source of unhappiness, because of its connection with Daksha. This severe example set by Sati is to be followed. One should be extremely careful about associating with persons who are not respectful to the higher authorities. It is therefore instructed in the Vedic literature that one should always be free from the association of atheists and non-devotees and should try to associate with devotees. For by the association of a devotee, one can be elevated to the platform of self-realization. This injunction is stressed in many places in Srimad Bhagavatam. If one wants to be liberated from the clutches of material existence, then one has to associate with great souls. And if one wants to continue one's material existential life, then one may associate with persons who are materialistic. The materialistic way of life is based on sex life. Thus both becoming addicted to sex life and associating with persons who are addicted to sex life are condemned in the Vedic literature, because such association will simply interfere with one's spiritual progress. However, association with great personalities, devotees who are great souls, will elevate one to the spiritual platform. Sati Devi decided to quit the body she had obtained from Daksha's body, and she wanted to transfer herself to another body so that she might have completely uncontaminated association with Lord Shiva. Of course, it is understood that in her next life, she would take birth as the daughter of the Himalayas, Parvati, and then she would again accept Lord Shiva as her husband. Sati and Lord Shiva are eternally related. Even after she changes her body, their relationship is never broken.
Anything you can think about, please.
Yes. So yes, on this verse about how Sati has given up this body due to its connection with Daksha, and specifically because Daksha had just insulted the great devotee Shiva, Srila Prabhupada connects that with associating with any atheists or non-devotees, and how we should also take this very seriously. We should also be absolutely determined to avoid their association, to rid ourselves of contaminating association. Sati is seeing her body as contaminated because it's come from the body of Daksha, and Daksha being contaminated because of his offenses toward Lord Shiva. And so we should be also very concerned with the contamination which comes from associating with those who are offensive. And then Srila Prabhupada connects that with, well, this verse, I guess the verse from somewhere in Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto Srimad Bhagavatam, talking about how the danger of being connected with someone who's attached to illicit sex, or who being attached to women. So the danger of being attached to women, or being attached to those who are attached to women for illicit sex. So Srila Prabhupada connects it to that verse. So if one wants to be liberated from the clutches of material existence, then one has to associate with great souls. And so Daksha is being seen as that association, and Shiva is being seen as that great soul, the great devotee. And so so Sati is very interested in giving up her association with Daksha, but returning to her association with Shiva. And so while Srila Prabhupada is encouraging us to also be strict in avoiding and determined in avoiding bad association, Sati has this unique, no, not unique, but Sati has this great expertise, or this qualification, where she can actually perform this yogic feat, and give up her body and immediately achieve this body to continue her association with Shiva. And but I and others in similar situation, though I'm have also willingly or unwillingly been contaminated by bad association, the process for me is not to kill myself or kill this body, but rather to go forward and try to purify myself of that bad contamination and not become further contaminated by bad association. So just go forward, chant Hare Krishna, and be determined to keep good association.
Thank you, Prabhu. Mukunda Charan Prabhu. Yes, Maharaj, please.
Om Jnana-timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Jaina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya-manavistam Sthapitam Jaina Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Mahyam Dadhati Shapadantikam Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhakti Vedanta Shaminiti Namani Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashtachitesha Dharane Vanchakolpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhupyevacha Paditanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Well spoken, Mukunda Charan. The two elements you mentioned, one is that she had this expertise by which to leave her body, and the other is that it's advised here that we're given advice here about the bad effects of associating with non-devotees. The Iskinchanasya Bhagavat Bhajanon Mukasya Param Param Trigimeshwar Pavasagarasya Then Sandarshitam Vishainamata Yoshitam Cha Hanta Visha Bhakshanato Pyasadhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that for one who wishes to cross the ocean of material existence, associating with Vishayis, sense gratifiers, or associating with women for sense gratification is worse than drinking poison. Is kinchanasya, for a person who's given up the way of life of material world, especially for vairagis, this is worse than poison. So not only vairagis, but for the householders also, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised a satsanga tyagi, a Vaishnavachar. Sri Sangi Eka Sadhu, Krishna Bhakta. When one of his householder devotees asked him, how should a Vaishnava behave? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu once gave this advice that one should give up a satsanga, which means Vishayinam, association with sense gratifiers, and Yoshit Sangha, those who are addicted to women for sense enjoyment. All right, any questions?
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
I would like to invite Shara for next verse, please.
We have a couple things in the chat here. Saraswati Mata says, Pranams Param Puja Maharaj and all the Vaishnavas. It's tragic how Daksha squandered all spiritual advantages he had in the form of Sati as a daughter and the greatest Vaishnava Shiva as son-in-law. Also, I recall that Brahma gave up sinful thoughts and desires, and this constituted as giving up a body. So does this apply to all conditional souls too?
Well, certainly one should give up sinful mentality or materialistic mentality. We're not advised that if you have a sinful thought, then commit suicide. But we should give up this subtle body of sense gratification. Of course, the subtle body is not given up like the gross body, at least not as long as we're in this world. But certainly we should give up this, following Lord Brahma, give up this contamination of filling our minds with unwanted things. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj. Now, Priti Purna Madhavi Devi says, Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Does sati... Trying to figure out how to read this. Does sati's reason of giving up the body due to hearing of blasphemy of Lord Shiva and Lord Shiva being a great devotee of the Lord? Or does she give up her body as Lord Shiva is not respected appropriately as he deserves in the yajna, and also as per his relationship with Sati in that assembly?
It's mentioned particularly because the Lord Shiva was disrespected, blasphemed in the assembly. So she followed the injunction that, well, better to give up your body than to hear this sort of thing. Not respected means that in itself is a kind of blasphemy. That makes a statement, as we say these days. Daksha made a statement by remaining seated, or by not by remaining seated, that was Lord Shiva, but by disrespecting Lord Shiva. But he didn't have to, it wasn't just unmanifest. He spoke out. This is, it wasn't just that Shiva was unrespected. That was shown by there being no mantras for Lord Shiva, there being no offerings for Lord Shiva. So that means disrespect. But beyond that, Daksha had already insulted Lord Shiva by his words. So both positively and negatively, by no offerings of respect and by direct blasphemy. So both things were there, and cumulatively. So she decided to give up her body.
And Venkatesh Prabhu says, related to Bhagavatam 4:424, a story about a yogi quitting a body at will. One of my devotee friends from IIT, Varanasi, Banaras, speaking of his great-grandfather, was telling that he gathered all the villagers one fine day, then sat down in lotus posture, telling that he will be leaving the body now, and just did that. His simple great-grandmother was devoted to worshiping a deity of Ladu Gopal all her life. A few minutes before she left her body, just sitting at her simple home, she was telling everyone in the family loudly that, "Hey everyone, a nice festival has begun, a nice festival."
These things are there. I've also heard from one devotee how her grandmother, I think, just stretched out a cloth and sat down and said, "Have kirtan." Elderly lady. So they had kirtan. She left her body.
Thank you. Radesh Prabhu, you are next, please.
Hare
27.
27.
Yeah.
Tatasva bhartushcharanam bhujasavam jagadgurosh chintayati nachaparam dadarsha deho hata kalmasha sati sadya prajajvala samadhi chagnina. Sati concentrated all her meditation on the holy lotus feet of her husband, Lord Shiva, who is the supreme spiritual master of all the world. Thus she became completely cleansed of all taints of sin and quit her body in a blazing fire by meditation on the fiery elements. Sati at once thought of the lotus feet of her husband, Lord Shiva, who is one of the three great personalities of Godhead in charge of the management of the material world. And simply by meditating on his lotus feet, she derived such great pleasure that she forgot everything in relationship with her body. This pleasure was certainly material because she gave up her body for another body that was also material. But by this example, we can appreciate the devotee's pleasure in concentrating his mind and attention on the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord Vishnu, or Krishna. There is such transcendental bliss in simply meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord that one can forget everything but the Lord's transcendental form. This is the perfection of yogic samadhi, or ecstasy. In this verse, it is stated that by such meditation, she became free from all contamination. What was that contamination? The contamination was her concept of the body derived from daksha, but she forgot that bodily relationship in trance. The purport is that when one becomes free from all bodily relationships within this material world and simply places himself in the position of an eternal servant of the Supreme Lord, it is to be understood that all the contamination of his material attachment has been burned by the blazing fires of transcendental ecstasy. It is not necessary for one to manifest a blazing fire externally, for if one forgets all his bodily relationships within this material world and becomes situated in his spiritual identity, it is said that one has been freed from all material contamination by the blazing fire of yogic samadhi, or ecstasy. That is the topmost perfection of yoga. If one keeps his bodily relationships within this material world and poses himself as a great yogi, he is not a bona fide yogi. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated, "Yat kirtanam yat smaranam." Simply by chanting the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, simply by remembering the lotus feet of Krishna, simply by offering prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one is immediately freed from material contamination, the material bodily concept, by the blazing fire of ecstasy. This effect takes place immediately, without a second's delay. According to Sri Jiva Goswami, that Sati quit her body means that she gave up within her heart her relationship with Daksha. Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also comments that since Sati is the superintendent deity of the external potency, when she quit her body, she did not get a spiritual body, but simply transferred from the body she had received from Daksha. Other commentators also say that she immediately transferred herself into the womb of Menaka, her future mother. She gave up the body she had received from Daksha and immediately transferred herself to another, better body. But this does not mean that she got a spiritual body. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Gurudasa Jayadvaita Swami Namani. Interesting point that because Maya is eternal, she's not liberated from that material position, but continues to perform her function as the wife, Svabhartu, the servant of her husband. When I read that, I thought of the verse that says Bhavani Bhartu, describing incorrectly. Sounds like Lord Shiva has a paramour. But no, they are eternally a couple, internally united. Maya with Lord Shiva. And it was mentioning that he's one of the three superintendents. I was thinking about that this morning when we were reciting the offenses against the holy name. The second offense, to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent. I think Guru Maharaj, you may have pointed out to me before that another way of translating that is to see them as inferior, to not recognize that they're equal. So Lord Shiva's exalted position, by meditating on his lotus feet, Sati was able to purify herself. And in that flash, Prajajvala, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also comments on that the cleansing of removing that body was like a lightning flash, illuminated her existence. It was very bright to get rid of that material contamination. Hatta kalmasha, to get rid of the kalmasha, the contamination. And Srila Prabhupada quotes this 2.4.15. I remember a few Kartiks ago when everyone was chanting Gopi Geet, Guru Maharaj, you said, why Gopi Geet? We should chant Shukadev Goswami's prayers. So I started chanting them regularly, and that's one of the verses. Yad kirtanam, yad smaranam, yad ikshanam, yad vandanam, yad chavanam, yad arhanam, lokasya sadyo vidhunoti kalmasham. So the same word, kalmasha, this contamination, the whole world, everyone who takes seriously to these processes of devotional service, offering prayers, chanting the Lord's glories, we're all free of these contaminations. It burns to ashes, and the devotees become very bright, bright-faced. Vaikuntha men, Srila Prabhupada appreciated when devotees were clean-shaven and decorated with tilak. So I try to please you, Guru Maharaj, please the devotees by trying to follow that. But the devotees are very bright by removing these contaminations, as spoken by Shukadev Goswami and as evidenced in this verse. Let's see if there's something else. I'll just stop there, Guru Maharaj, if you have something.
Just that it's not that the demigods shouldn't have to be seen as being on an equal level of Lord Vishnu, because that's another offense. But particularly that one should see that they're integrated with Lord Vishnu. One shouldn't see them as independent of Lord Vishnu. And particularly when it comes to Lord Shiva, he shouldn't be seen as you said, inferior, or Lord Shiva is practically on the level of Lord Vishnu. Just as yogurt shouldn't be seen as separate from milk, even that if there's some difference, they're so close. You can't have yogurt and milk. You can't have yogurt without its being connected with milk. So Lord Shiva is intimately connected with Lord Vishnu, and so much so that he's practically on the same level. So again, so much so that to offend Lord Shiva is as bad as offending Lord Vishnu. or it's tantamount, you can say that, to offending Lord Vishnu. But still, we always have to see that, no, they're not on the same level. Yes, tu Narayanam Devam Brahma Rudradi Daivatai. But Lord Shiva in particular is practically not different from Lord Vishnu.
We have a question in the chat from Tulsi Priya. Is that why Srila Prabhupada calls Maya Devi's service a thankless task? Because she remains perpetually in the material world?
No, I don't think that's what Prabhupada meant. Thankless task means you do something and nobody says thank you very much. No one appreciates it. No one says to the IRS, "Thank you. We're so grateful that you're taking a big chunk of our earnings. We look forward to your coming." It's a thankless task. Nobody thanks you for it. So Maya's business is to keep the conditioned souls enslaved by her power. That's to punish them, or to restrict, or to make them miserable. So no one thanks Maya for that. Thank you for birth and death. Thank you for old age and disease. It's a thankless task. The prisoners don't thank the warden. So the Durga Devi is the warden of the prison house, and the conditioned souls are not grateful.
Hare Krishna. Priti Purna Madhavi Devi says, how one becomes completely cleansed of all taints of sin without devotional service, as mentioned here, and not even meditating on any form of Lord Vishnu. Can this be considered a method of that age, or Sati's meditation on the lotus feet of a pure devotee of the Lord cleansed her of all taints of sin?
Both things. One is, of course, just the method itself of mystic yoga is purifying. It burns up sins. It may not burn up all sins, but it's effective. It purifies. The Yoga Society people, they're not becoming free from sins. They increase their sins. But if one practices the yoga system in this way, one does burn up the results of sinful reactions. Of course, not in every case. Hiranyakashipu didn't burn up the results of his sinful reactions. But more important is what you said, that she's meditating on the lotus feet of Lord Shiva, the greatest devotee of Lord Vishnu. So for that reason, the yoga system might be very effective in cleansing one of so many sinful reactions. But one gets freed more expeditiously and thoroughly by meditation on the lotus feet of the devotee of the Lord.
All right, Krishna. She goes on to say, or mention in Bhagavatam 4th canto, the picture of Sati is shown with her standard clothes and jewelry on, but here it is mentioned she changed to saffron cloth.
Hare Krishna.
And Panchatattva Prabhu says, in my edition, Sati is wearing saffron.
Mm-hmm. Seems that she changed her cloth.
Okay, we have next Venkatesh Prabhu.
Sorry, Prabhuji, I'm not ready yet.
Okay.
While we're waiting for our next reader, we had another question from Priti Purna Madhavi. Is it okay to pray to Maya Devi to loosen her clutches from our life?
Yes, but if you're going that far, why not go further? The gopis were praying to Katyayani, Durga, Please let us be engaged in the service of the lotus feet of the son of Nanda Maharaj. Of course, they had a particular desire to have the Lord as their husband, but we can pray to the material energy that. And Prabhupada, I told the story, I think, one time that we were walking in Ranganath Gardens in Vrindavan. Srila Prabhupada was walking in what he said it had formerly been a very beautiful garden. Still, it was all right. And in the garden, someplace, we came across a raised platform, a large raised area. And there was some little music playing, and there was a little shrine on the platform. There was some agarbatti. And Prabhupada got up on the platform and he saw that it was that there was a deity of Durga. And Prabhupada offered full dandavats. And then he got up on his knees and he was looking at the deity. And he quoted Shristi Stiti Pralaya Sadhana Shakti Reka. And he said that we're also worshipping Katyayani or Durga. He said, but not like the materialists. Dhanam Dehi, this Dehi, give me this, give me this, give me this, give me this. But our prayer is that, my dear Durga, you're very dear to Krishna. It's Chanarupam Abhiyasya Chacheshtatesa. You're always carrying out the orders of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so you're very dear to the Lord. So please give your blessing that we can always be engaged in service. And he mentioned that the gopis were worshipping Katyayani in this way. So we can pray in that way, that not only to be relieved of material suffering, but to be engaged in the service of the Lord. Then automatically material suffering will be gone. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Okay, is Venkatesh ready?
There's something else.
Hi Krishna, could you tell me the verse number, please?
Yeah, number 28.
Okay, thank you. Taspasyatam ke bhuvi chadbhutam mahad haheti vadas sumahan ajayata antapriya Daivatāmasya Devi Jahavasun Sati Prakopita. When Sati annihilated her body in anger, there was a tumultuous roar all over the universe. Why had Sati, the wife of most respectable demigod Lord Shiva, quit her body in such a manner? Purport. There was a tumultuous roaring all over the universe in the society of the demigods of different planets, because Sati was the daughter of Daksha, the greatest of all kings, and the wife of Lord Shiva, the greatest of all demigods. Why did she become so angry that she gave up her body? Since she was the daughter of a great personality and a wife of a great personality, she had nothing to desire, but still she gave up her body in dissatisfaction. Certainly this was astonishing. One cannot attain complete satisfaction even if one is situated in the greatest material opulence. There was nothing Sati could not achieve either from her relationship with her father or from her relationship with the greatest of the demigods. But still, for some reason, she was dissatisfied. Therefore, Bhagavatam 1-6 explains that one has to achieve real satisfaction. Yes, Yayatma Suprasidati. But Atma, the body, mind, and soul, all become completely satisfied only if one develops devotional service to the Absolute Truth. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhakti radakshati. Adakshata means the absolute truth. If one can develop his unflinching love for the transcendental Supreme Personality of Godhead, then that can give complete satisfaction. Otherwise, there is no possibility of satisfaction in the material world or anywhere else. Maybe this can be given a title, this purport, that secret of satisfaction. So, further, here Prabhupada says how what you can say, maybe it was breaking news, so-called breaking news all over the universe that okay, Sati has given up her body. So everybody was stunned that this thing happened. Though there was no WhatsApp, Facebook, X, or whatever else things back then, the technology was so advanced that without this, you can say, undependable modern technologies, they had already understood these things. So, if we just analyze what was the position of Sati, she was like a daughter of some kind of modern day, maybe millionaire, billionaire, or maybe some head of the state. So her position was so great, actually, from her father's side also, and from her husband's side also. Both ways, she was like really a great personality. There was nothing that she could not achieve like that. That is what is mentioned here. But still, for some reason, there was dissatisfaction. So dissatisfaction is always there in the heart of conditioned soul, because the conditioned soul has uh, turned away from Krishna. So Caitanya-caritamrta, there's that verse, Krishna bahirmukha jiv bhagavan chakore pashyate maya jare japati adare. So the jiva has turned away from Krishna and therefore is caught by Maya. So, like that. And then Chaitanya also gives the solution that Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunai Shravanadi Sudhya Chiche Kariye Uday. So that love of God is there within the heart of every living entity. And by proper devotional service and service to Mahatmas, one can develop or reawaken that love for God and then attain perfection. So here in the last part of the purport, Bhagavatam 1-6 is quoted by Prabhupada. That famous verse when sages ask what is the supreme dharma of all humanity. So Sutta Goswami explains this very succinctly. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhakti radakshari haituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. So that supreme dharma for all humanity is that which awakens one's loving devotional service to Lord Adokshaya or Vishnu or Krishna. So whatever we do, if we are able to awaken our love for Krishna, then it will give us complete satisfaction. Nothing else. There's no possibility of satisfaction in the material world or anywhere else. Which means even in the spiritual world, this is what they do. They do the same thing. They do pure devotional service. Paro dharma. So bhakti adakshaya. So bhakti is the process, ultimate process suggested by the Bhagavatam and all our acharyas. Yes, maybe Maharaj could add something more. I definitely have missed many things. And the other devotees can also add.
Very good. Yes, she was. I like that point. The technology was such that all around the universe, immediately the word spread. And in our classes, devotees have asked, why did she give up her body? Why did she have the same sort of astonishment and inquiry, what happened? So this was going on even amongst the demigods. And yes, it was because she was an important person. When something happens to some insignificant person, no one notices. But if it happens to a great person, a celebrated person, then everybody takes interest. So here, this was the Jayadvaita Devi, Priya Jayadvaita, the dearmost wife of the most respected demigod, Jayadvaita, and she gave up her life. I mean, that's, and here also Prakopita, in anger, in extreme anger, she gave up her life. So this was certainly of consequence. Why did this happen? What is this? What is this? Oh, ha, Vada. Yes.
Panchatattva Prabhu says, news travels fast on the planets of the demigods. Radhesha Prabhu gives us a verse, Bhaktir evainam nayati, bhaktir evainam darshayati, bhaktivasa purusha, bhaktir eva bhuyasi. Translation, only bhakti brings the living entity closer to Krishna. Bhakti alone enables the living entity to see Krishna face to face. That Supreme Person Krishna is controlled only by bhakti. Bhakti is superior to everything else.
Bhaktya mam abhijanati. You can only know Krishna by bhakti. Yes, that's for sure.
And Saraswati Devi says, I am surprised that no senior demigod like Lord Brahma or her other family members intervened as a last effort to prevent this catastrophe. I understand one shouldn't interfere in the dealings between senior devotees, but can there be exceptions in extreme cases such as this one?
Yes, it's surprising, and of course, yes, there can be intervention, but the one thought is, just from my experience, things happen and they start to unfold, and you start to say, well, wait a second, and by the time you're thinking of what to do, it's already happened. It's already happened, and by then things unfold so quickly that you don't get a chance to think and act. So it's just, we're reading many verses, but okay, she's speaking strongly. Already everyone's stunned that she's saying such heavy things. And then she sits down and measures it. It looks like, and then, yes, it is, but by then the body's gone. She's burned everything up in the mystic fire. So one could picture it, all of this is happening quickly.
Thank you.
All right, we are running out of time now.
Also, for that matter, if she wants to give up her body, she's in charge of the illusory energy. So nobody's going to, we sometimes we fail to act. Why? Because of illusion. I don't know, why didn't you do something? I don't know, I must have been an illusion. So the person who's giving up the body is the demigoddess in charge of the illusory energy. So nobody's going to stop her.
I wanted to say also, to underscore what Maharaj is saying here, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has a description of this, that he says her body suddenly lit up in a flash. And he says it did this suddenly in a moment, and not at the next moment like lightning, which flashes and disappears. So like you say, Maharaj, it happened so fast that nobody knew what to do.
Okay, next, Krishna Kantaya Prabhu.
Well, wait a second. We're at 1:59 on my clock, which means 8 o'clock your time. Oh yeah, so you're Krishna Kantiya for Kirtan. I'm sorry. That's also the effect of it being 2 a.m. in the morning over here.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Yes, Krishna Kantiya.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Skripa, Raman Sapai Rajacharya, Astutar Sat Shri Srimad, His Divine Grace, Guru Das, Swami, Jayadvaita Ki Jai, Jayam Vishnupad Brahmansa, Prarajacharya Stotra, Sati Srimad, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Namacharya Sahai Das Thakur Ki Jai, bringing say Ho Sri Krishna, Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari, Gaura Bhakti Vrinda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. I'll go to some of the devotees. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Krishna Kanteya Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Bol, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Gurudev.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you.
Krishna.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Maharaj, you're muted still.
Thank you. Well, it was thank you to all, each and all.
Hare Krishna.
Hey.